Right, here we go. Another used equipment or something for the weekend, used equipment or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. Gary on the camera and my colleague Jonathan standing here. We're all fit and ready for tomorrow, which is our hog roast day. So we've been busy loading up the shelves with used equipment and also scratching all the selling prices that we normally do, most of them anyway, and lowered them lots. Most of you that will visit tomorrow will see them. The ones that don't will miss it. So keep your eyes out. If there's something that we've got that you haven't seen or you haven't seen that we've got, then ask one of the sales guys. It'll be pretty mobbed in here tomorrow due to the fact that we make hardly any money. It's a terrible job,
nice,
isn't it?
Yeah.
But more importantly, we've got free food all day and drink and everything else. So I'd like to start off today with a little quick one of something I just bought in. Over here, Gary. The Kenwood, actually it's a trio. You see that there? That's a little sticker. And in the early days, when they couldn't quite make their minds up whether they wanted to be trio or Kenwood, they sold trio kit, which is what it originally was, and stuck Kenwood stickers over it. This has had a couple of owners. It's in excellent condition, 200 watts, manual tuner with walk bands, despite the fact that it's probably 30 years old now. It'd be £400-500 today, £150, and it's got the original box and a photocopy of the manual. Jonathan?
Thank you, Martin. I want to talk about last week. We showed you a TS890. Now, we've had a few calls in it. We couldn't do anything on the price. It's sold. But never mind, there's one over here. If Gary walks this way, we've got another one. So TS890. It's Kenwood sort of hybrid. The back end and what you hear is its traditional super het, but what you see on the screen is an SDR type display. 2,999 there. Of course, if you come and see us in store tomorrow, you never know. We might be able to do something on the price.
Especially on a hog roast day.
Especially on the hog roast day, that's what I mean. Also here we've got TS590 SG. In fact, we've got two of them. We've got one that Gary's looking at. That wasn't the one I was thinking of. There's also one above. But they're both in excellent condition, boxed, etc. The one on the top is up at £1,099. Of course, hog roast weekend, anything could happen. And come and talk to us in store while you're having your bacon roll or your hog roast with the apple sauce, and I'm sure we can do a price. Of course, boxed and complete, and everything in the box that you would normally get with it. Martin?
Yes, okay. So I saw a little bit of flustering on the news groups on Facebook regarding a certain FT1000 MP, which we have, and we mentioned that one famous previous owner, somebody dared to say that it was just, a load of old bull that we've put out to try and flog this 1000. I'd love to tell you who actually owned this, but believe me, if anyone's going to know whether the specification is spot on or exceeds it in the UK, then the person who used to own this definitely will. So there's a bit of a clue. And he traded in for something else, which I won't mention, but needless to say, he stayed with Yaesu and went up the ladder. So, immaculate FT1000 MP. I did sell this to him at the HF convention. That's how long ago it was, before the RSGB jumped on it and created it their own, and looked after it for us ever since. So 1000 MP in amazing condition. The price is reflected in that. It's not the cheapest on the market, but just look at the condition of that. It's sitting on top of an Acon 1000 that Tony bought in a couple of days ago. This is of course made by Acon in Bulgaria. It uses a GU74 tube. It's still putting out full power, doesn't seem to have lost any. It's the dark brown, the nut brown version. They've just recently bought them out with a grey panel. The only thing I'd say is, yes, there's some marks there, but if this was mine, I'd just tape it off on that edge and paint the top, because the rest of it, there's a little mark there, but the rest of it is in great nick. More importantly, electronically it works very well, and that is £925. That's very cheap for a 1 kilowatt HF and 6 metre amplifier. Over here to the left of this famous person's old FT1000 is the Icom IC9100. This has obviously been overshadowed by Icom's IC9700. The big difference with these, apart from the fact they were an unbelievable price when they new, this is pushing well over £3,000. The difference is that this has got HF built in as standard, based on the IC7400, if you remember that. So HF, it's also got 2, 4 and 23 SEMS as an option, and it's also got the D-Star board and the UT106 DSP board, and that is in really great nick. And of course it comes with the mains power supply, I think, does it? Or does it?
No.
Am I talking
12 volts.
Talking nonsense there? It doesn't come with a 12 volt power supply, but it is $18.99. And I tell you what, if you come along and buy that at the open day tomorrow, because I've just put my foot in it, I'll throw in a power supply free of charge. Amazing. Jonathan? Oh, and that 9500, if you got your eyes on it, is sold over there. Sorry guys, but Tony sold that the other day. Jonathan?
Thank you, Martin. I want to go over here because over here we have an Ellacraft K3. So this particular K3 is very well spec, but it is the K3, not the K3S. So it's basically a K3S, except for the interface on the back is the RS232 interface rather than USB, as what you'd get with the K3S nowadays. We have also the P3 sat next to it, so the K3 itself $14.99, the P3 sat next to it $4.99. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Jonathan, that's very nice, that's excellent. But what I'd really like is actually a K3S. Need worry. Don't worry, because we have ones just out here. K3S with a P3. Just bought it. We're going to sell them as a pair because it is a matching set. They do look absolutely fantastic sat together. We're going to sell them at $3,149 as a pair. That particular K3S has the 2 meter board in it as well. So if you want to start using 2 meters, maybe use the on UK ACs on 2 meters. Be absolutely brilliant for that. With the P3 3149, I think that's an absolutely fantastic one. Fully boxed and complete. You don't often see boxes with the original. So you don't often see K3Ss or K3s with the box because they're not branded in any way. People do tend to just throw them out, but no, we do have the original boxes for this K3, and the one we mentioned last week, we still have that. That's over there. Full details on the website, and this one does have the K-Pod as well, which is the nice little interface, the additional VFO knob for your sub VFO. Again, that's sold as a kit. I'll be honest, I can't remember what price is, but it is on the website. Yeah, it's about $3,000, $3 and a bit grand, but you can see the full details and the full spec of that one on the website because it is very well loaded, that K3S. Also, while we're here, let's just talk about a few other things on the shelves. Got an ICOM IC7100 just out there. This is, of course, ICOM's small HF4, 642 and 70. They'd claim mobile, I suppose, but there's no reason you couldn't use it in the jack. Hide away the main body and maybe put something like an LDG IT100 with it. Just have the main head unit up on the bench. It makes it a really nice small station for less than £800. That's absolutely fantastic. Martin?
Me again. FTDX 5000s. Been thinking about one of those for a while because again we bought one in 2-3 days ago. It's just come down from the workshop. We've got so much used equipment up there. I'm poking them with a stick to test it faster because they're not getting it through fast enough. We do thoroughly test gear before we sell it, and yes, we slip up now and again and the odd bit goes out with a slight problem, but we put it right, so we're not totally perfect yet. FTDX 5000 MP Limited. This is a special edition. The chap who owned it, one owner from you incidentally, we bought 2 pieces of kit from him. It's got the SM5000. I'm sure you know it's 200 watts base station, proper dual receive built in. $17.95, so that's a big saving over new price. And I think finally they will stop making them because of course the FTDX 101's out, and as brilliant a radio as that is, I think there is undoubtedly more handmade and more engineering in the 5000, and the weight of it alone gives that away. I said that the gentleman traded in 2 bits. Actually Gary's already scanned over it. That's a TS590. That is a TS590 SG. Again, box booked and everything else with lead information of that on the web. The other item I noticed is a TS2000E. Finally, after 19 years, Kenwood have finally pulled the plug out on it, probably because some of the components are no longer available for mass production. Certainly spares are still available for it. But this is available. It's in great nick. I don't think there's any. Yes, it's slightly worn on the top. Look, see that, Gary, on there? It's where people use their finger to turn the thing on and off, and the ashes in the finger take the colour out of the paint. $7.99 though. That's a big saving. That's less than just under half price when those were new. So if you're looking for a TS2000, certainly those are the ones that's definitely worth looking at. IC718s, I don't know whether... Did you mention those?
I didn't.
Jonathan, the 718 is a great starter machine. If you're into ICOM equipment, the 718 is very simple to use. HF, top band 10 metres. Don't think it's got 6 from memory. Might have. Can't remember. Should know, really. Been selling them forever. £399 a piece. So if you want a nice, simple HF, no-frills radio, but a good performing radio, that's a very good alternative to the FT450 from Yaesu. And for a change, it doesn't look like we've got an FT450, most unusual. IC910 as well. That's the predecessor to the 9100 and the predecessor to the 9700. That has got 2 metres, 70 SEMS, and the very expensive 23 SEMS module in. Again, this was £2.5 plus when it was new, only $899, and that is in amazing condition. Last few words from Jonathan.
Last few words. One final item I want to mention, because up here we have an 817ND, and this one has the BHI module fitted, which you don't often see on 817NDs. Obviously, the BHI module has been around almost since the radio has been, but not many actually have them fitted. So it's very nice, lovely box and complete 425. So if you're looking to go out QRP, maybe this coming weekend, or maybe as we head into spring, maybe that's something to consider as well. We very much look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. We open the doors at 8 o'clock, and we'll have bargains and free tea and coffee. That's the main important thing. That's one of the only reasons I come in. Will be available all day. So we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Of course, all of the used items available you can see online, hamradio.co.uk/used. And if you see anything you like, give us a call, 0345 2300 599. You okay?
He says that every week, doesn't he? Every week he says the same thing.
It's like I'm off a script.
Off the script, of which he hasn't got one, and I certainly hasn't, as you could tell. So come down tomorrow, spend all day here. You don't have to buy anything, but it definitely helps if you do, because I've got to feed the family and all my staff. So have a lovely evening, and see you in the morning at 8 o'clock, 30th of November. Ta-ra.